Crime time. Do I need to explain crime time at this point? Most of you are here for it, so I don't really need to give you trigger warning. This is true crime. These are real cases, real people, real victims, etc. I went to college. I have a degree in criminology. We watch this stuff. We talk about it. That's it. We're gonna be watching a video from Red Tree Crime called When a Suspect Acts Strange During an Interrogation. About 30 minutes. Nice and crispy quick. And yeah, I super won't be playing RuneScape while we watch.
Jeff, my name's Sergeant Hendrick. I'm with the Sheriff's
Jesus, it's loud.
First Glover. Glad to meet you. We won't take too much of your time. Okay.
I'm sure you won't.
A couple questions for you. Okay. Let me explain to your dad and your sister. Our goal here is to figure out
Thanks for all the subs and stuff. I'll mute alerts.
what happened. Okay. Strictly figure out what happened, and we can move on from there.
This is 21-year-old Jeffrey Pine. Jeffrey is about to be interviewed by
Jeffrey
the police
Pine.
after his mother was found unresponsive inside the garage of their family home.
Oh.
His mother's name was Ruth Pine, and it appeared that she had been attacked and left to die.
Oh, okay.
911, where's your emergency? My wife, she's like...
No.
To what was an obvious homicide.
Nope.
At first,
Not
the
listening to
police
that.
investigated Ruth's husband, Bernie, but he had a rock-solid alibi.
Absolutely
the police also
not.
believed that it wasn't a robbery gone wrong, because nothing had been stolen from the home. Eventually, they would find that a large 2x4 was missing from the garage, near where...
Listen, man, I like to think I'm a pretty brave and strong person, and we've watched some morbid stuff, but still, the one thing I really can't handle is a 911 call from like a genuine witness. You know what I mean? I'm not listening to this man realizes his wife has been murdered. I'm not listening to that. That's a level of tragedy that I don't care to dip into. It's too much. If you guys are curious, look up the video, watch the section of it yourself. We don't do that here. I don't like that.
Where Ruth's body had been found. An autopsy had been done on Ruth, and it appeared that a 2x4-like weapon had been used to take her life. This information would lead them to Jeffrey Pine, who had 2 large wounds on his hands that appeared as if they had come from swinging a large piece of wood.
Okay.
Awkward.
You're not under arrest or anything like that. Okay.
Yes, you are.
How old are you?
21.
21?
Yeah.
This
Is your name
many.
Jeff or Jeffrey?
Either.
Which do you go by?
Jeff
Usually
or
Jeff.
Jeffrey.
Do you work?
That's the same name, bro.
Spice Orchards.
Oh, on Clyde Road?
These cops are clever, man.
23, yeah.
Oh, all right. What do you do there?
Just about everything. I've been there since I was 16. I'm their unofficial winemaker.
Why is he 21 with that hairline? Well, if you want the actual reason, there could be plenty of reasons. One might be because he's a fucking absolute freak. But if you have a lot of testosterone, your hairline is higher up and can recede quicker. Fun fact.
I make cider. I work the register. Pretty much anything they
A
need me.
little bit of everything?
Yeah.
Okay.
The detective begins by asking Jeffrey if everyone in the family got along with each other.
Yeah, totally.
How
we
does
do.
Everybody in the house get along?
We all get along really well.
Yeah, dude.
Especially since she's been on her medication. I don't know if my dad already told you she's
Knew it.
bipolar.
Right.
Since I think it was about September, we got her on medication. She's
Immediately.
better every week, really. And as she gets better, everybody's relationship
Immediately
with us gets
discrediting the victim.
I understand there's a time it wasn't so good.
Yeah,
better.
baldness is also
It's-
genetic
when
and
she
stuff
goes
too.
manic, it puts a lot of stress on us all. And
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's real tough for you, bud.
tough around the house. So. But it hadn't been that way in a long time, since September. So.
I understand that there was an issue where there was some sort of fight between the two of you and she ended up getting arrested a while back.
Yeah, that was back last summer. She was not on her medication. She was very, very manic.
Ruth had been diagnosed with bipolar, depression,
Damn,
and
what happened,
psychosis.
bro?
and had been put on medication to
This
help
man's
with the
hairline
symptoms.
quit its job the
problem
second
was
he
getting
grew
her to
up.
take the medication. When she did, she seemed calm and fairly normal.
Hmm.
But when the medication was stopped, she would have severe mood swings.
And it was early.
That is, unfortunately, a very common theme with people who are bipolar. From the little bit I know, not to pretend like I'm talking out of my ass, I have a psychology minor, which is like not tons, but whatever. What the? Okay. The little bit I remember, one of the worst divergencies with medication is bipolar, just because of the way how heavy the emotions swing between being manic and being stable. The medicine helps a ton, but the issue is it's not a noticeable change. It's a leveler. And I mean, much like a lot of other medicine for other neurodivergencies, it's a stabilizer. So like it's hard to really notice or feel like it's like changing your entire life. And then you literally just, people just stop taking it because they're like, well, I don't need it because I seem fine. It's not like a predictable thing. People enter states of, they go into manic states unpredictably. That's what's tough with it too, is like it's not like something you can like predict or control, unlike the Florida shooter who said his demon showed up at 8 p.m. every night or whatever that fucking idiot was talking about. Like that's not how it works. You know, there's lots of side effects to the medicine. There's a lot of inconsistencies in terms of what it can do and how it affects somebody and how they feel about it. So like it's a hard thing to deal with and to keep somebody on medicine for, even though the medicine is really good at stabilizing that person's mood and state of mind. It's just the way it works. Person with bipolar here, I've had to go through many different medications because some immediately may be manic and some that seem to work may be manic after higher dosages. SSRIs commonly make those with bipolar manic even in small dosages. Yeah, exactly. It's just one of those things that we know about. We know it is not fixable, like it needs to be fixed and like it's a problem, but we have solutions, but it's such a dynamic neurodivergency that like it's different in everyone who has it. So every medicine works differently with every patient. So some people just get frustrated and they just don't do it. So I don't know. It's tough. Also shitty of this guy to immediately blame this as the reason she's like causing problems, or she is, or whatever. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. I mean, any of them are tough ones to kind of get a handle around, especially with medication. As simple as people want it to be, to just be like pop drug and you're good. You know, certain drugs for every person don't work the same as for other people. You know, I have ADHD and anxiety, and I have a very small dosage of bupropion because it works. But like one of my friends doesn't take bupropion because he has a different form of ADHD, the opposite side of it in terms of like hyperactiveness, and I have more inattentiveness. So like mine doesn't work for him as his wouldn't probably work for me. You know, it's crazy. It's just a tough thing. And like even a simple thing like ADHD is like that. And then you deal with something like bipolar where it's like your entire mood, brain chemistry, all of it is swung into these extreme states of like to what you believe is invulnerability pretty much. And it's like it's so hard to figure that out. Yeah, it'd be great if it was as easy as like somebody takes this pill and they don't have this at all, but it's just not, because our brains are so dynamic and these neurodivergencies are so dynamic that it's like a random pill isn't going to necessarily be immediately productive. You know, we're lucky enough that we're in a day and age where there's multiple kinds of different things and you can hopefully eventually find one that works for you. But yeah, it is unfortunately not that simple.
In the morning, I heard my parents yelling back and forth, and it woke me up. And I walked into their room because the door was open, and they were just screaming at each other. And
yeah, my parents were having issues, and it really affected me in my sleep.
She launched out of the bed and grabbed me by the throat and like started hitting me and stuff. But I mean, she didn't hurt me or anything. It was just she was manic. She wasn't herself.
Yeah, right. I'm only using it during this for no reason.
Well, first started back when I was 7.
Issues is a pretty shitty way to glaze over an entire like
bipolar, you're depressed
problem.
Sure. She was more depressed at that time, for a few years, and then my sister
Not
was
shocking
born
a cop
in 2000, and
hastily
she was good
generalizes a
until about
problem, though.
2008, right after I graduated high school, and she just went manic. It changed. She wasn't depressed anymore. She just got crazy.
You're
just hyper.
You're an
just
idiot.
all over the place.
Idiot. Lots of people who have bipolar suffer from depression. That's so, what an idiot. Yeah, it just sort of went away, and then all of a sudden she was manic. Idiot. It's not how it works. The depression went away. It was crazy. This guy has no idea what he's fucking talking about. A lot of people with bipolar deal with depression because the state of mania is so high and exciting that, like, when you swing back down, it's like depressing because your brain goes back to reality, in which you kind of realize you're not as immortal or not as smart or capable or extravagant, idea crazy, whatever. Like your dopamine goes back to such a regular level that or there's not any left because your brain is so manic that it just sucks that dopamine dry and your receptor can't make more. And so when you go back down, your brain just gets real sad. It happens a lot. A lot of people who have bipolar end up becoming depressed because the crash from their manic episodes are so heavy that it's a hard thing to just take on alone, or in your own mind rather. So yeah, pretty fucking stupid. Though I can't imagine the guy who killed his own mother is that intelligent anyway.
And you said she's been on medication?
Yes.
Do you know what kind of medication she's been on?
After listening to Jeffrey list the medications that Ruth took, the detective goes back to his original line of questioning. He wants to know the events leading up to when Ruth was found, because Jeffrey was the last person to see her.
So today, let's get back to today. So today you said you got up around 10?
Yeah, about 10.
All right, what did you do when you got up?
Had breakfast, got on the computer.
Loser.
Didn't really do a whole lot.
Damn, kind of relatable.
She got home from grocery shopping and I helped her bring the groceries in.
Wake up, eat breakfast, sit on computer, don't do much, go to bed.
Grocery shopping, Andy?
Meyer.
So was
Fuck.
she home when you got up, or was she already gone?
No, she was gone.
Okay.
She got back, I don't know what time it was, like 11:30 or noon, something like that.
Who was
What?
home when you got there?
What are you yelling at me for?
Was anybody else home?
No, it was just me.
Just you? Okay, all right. So then she got back, and you helped her put the groceries away, and
I'm working, girl. Go tell
you said
mom.
at some point she went upstairs and
Go tell mom you need help.
Was that right away after she put the groceries? Was what she do before she went up?
Dinner time for Birdie. She's yelling.
I don't know, she was in the living room.
Go get her.
I think she was reading. She was in there for a little bit, and then I know she went upstairs to lay down, because when I left, that's where she was. So.
Was there any issue? Was she upset about anything, or everything okay when you left?
No, everything was fine.
Okay. Did she know you were leaving? Did you tell her you were leaving?
Yeah.
Okay. And you drive what car?
The 90 olds.
The
brown one.
The brown one?
Yeah.
Okay. And then there was another one in
The
the
what?
driveway, a white.
A white one? Yeah,
Yeah.
white. I think it's an Oldsmobile. Yeah.
Whose is that?
That's my dad's. He hardly ever drives it. He bought it because it was a good deal.
Okay.
And he drives the blue car usually.
All right. And then the one in the garage is.
Should I turn it up a bit?
It's my mom's.
Your mom drives that one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. When you left, what door did you go out?
One on the garage door.
The overhead roll-up door?
Not the roll-up door, the side garage door.
The side garage door. Okay.
What? Birdie, your mom can go feed you. I know it's 6 p.m. It's dinner time, isn't it? Look at Boomer. Boomer's coming in here. He's like, I heard dinner. Look at this little suck up. Look at him. Boomer, there's another person in this house. Go get mom. Look at him waiting for her to say something. I'm going to text her so we can see Boomer. Oh. He's like, wait, what?
Did you lock the door?
No, I left it unlocked.
Okay. Do you normally leave it unlocked?
Usually, I knew my dad and Julia were coming home from school, so I left it unlocked for him.
Left unlocked?
Yeah.
Okay. And you think that was around 1:30?
Yeah, I left about 1:30.
Okay.
Jeffrey claims that after leaving his home, he went to a neighbor to continue some yard work that he had been paid to do. This would have been a great alibi, except that the neighbor was not home. But Jeffrey did leave her a voicemail. Prosecution would use this voicemail in court, saying that Jeffrey called his neighbor to try and establish an alibi.
I've been over to your house a few times. I thought you were coming home. I was just over there for about an hour or so, just kind of sweeping up, kind of checking things out. I was actually hoping you'd be there.
Did you go anywhere else other than to that lady's house and then to Spicer's? Did you stop at any grocery stores, party stores, gas stations?
No, I went right to her house, and then I left and went right to Spicer's.
Okay. What time did you get to work today? At Spicer's?
I got there right before 3.
Spicer's?
Right before 3? And you're supposed to start at 3?
Start at 3, yeah. I usually get there about 10 minutes early.
Do you punch in?
Yeah, I punch in a time card.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what were your responsibilities today?
Today, my boss didn't give me any set jobs. I usually just go in and start doing stuff. First thing I did was I went and checked the bathrooms, because usually when you come in the afternoon, that's what you do. So I went there and checked them, and really the only other thing I did was weigh up a keg of hard cider and
kill my mom. Put it in the thing, the fridge.
Hook that up.
So I put it in the fridge.
And then my dad called me and told me to come home. And I just left.
That's what I did.
What did your dad tell you on the phone?
He just said, "Come home right now, hurry." I asked him, what's going on? Are you okay? What's going on? And he said, just get home, drive safe.
Yeah, you seem really sad about it, man.
So I just told my manager, I was like, my dad just called. I gotta get going. I don't know what's going on. So, and she said, just go.
What's your manager say?
This man's voice pisses me off.
There's a few. The one I told was her name.
The vocal fry is unreal. Yeah, I had to go. I just had to get out of there. You know, I had to go. I had to get out of there. I went to work and then apple cider. Yeah, have fun dealing with that, man. Some of us can just talk like this. You don't have to do it. Women aren't going to fuck you because you can destroy your esophagus.
Well, what's wrong with your hands?
This was from work today. I was flipping over.
Oh, yeah?
The
apple cider fought back, so I have wounds on my hands.
Because I was flipping it over, my hand got caught in there and just tore off the skin.
Jeffrey claims that flipping a pallet is what caused the wounds on both
Fucking
of his
idiot.
hands. The police would interview Jeffrey's coworkers, and they would tell them that in their line of work, injuries like the ones on Jeffrey's hands are close to impossible to get.
Can I see it? I mean, can you undo that?
There's just like a giant piece of a 2x4 in his hand.
Rip the skin right off.
Let me see.
I can't wait till they're like, yeah, we found the 2x4 with your DNA on it.
So,
It's painful.
it kind of stings when you.
Yeah,
push
well,
on it.
beating my mother to death is hard work, so.
Just almost.
I mean, moving apple cider into a fridge.
It just tore the skin right off. There was like skin hanging on it, and I just like peeled it off. Washed my hands, put some alcohol swab on it. So.
Nailed it.
Yeah, well, I put on a bandage at work, but
God, he's so smart.
the lady in the ambulance, when I got here, she gave me this.
I think he's getting away with this one, guys.
And
I
that
mean,
was
he's
from a
really
pallet
covered all of his
Was
tracks.
that pallet near the bathroom, you said?
Yeah, it was on it's around the back.
His shit alibi and his terrible work excuse. Crazy.
Got my hands caught.
His vocal fry.
Did you
Not really. I just.
Not
It
really.
got really red, and so I just.
It kind of
went
gave
to
me
the bathroom,
boo-boos.
So I just rushed to the bathroom, and washed my hands off, put
Ouchies.
some paper towel on it, then went into the break room, got the medical kit. So.
Okay. All right.
What a terrible alibi. The day my mother got beaten to death, I was at my next door neighbor's house, who wasn't there, but I have a voicemail saying I went, trust me. And then the same day I was at work and I have these massive bruises on both of my hands from my very cushy work job. Definitely not the result of like violently swinging something that is not meant to be swung. God, I'm so smart. These police are stupid. They have no idea.
Or your mom was not upset or anything today before you left?
No, she was fine.
Okay.
I gave her a hug after we
yeah, of course.
put the groceries away, and she was fine.
I'm sure.
Was your car parked in the driveway or on the street when you left?
When I left to come here,
And when you left to go to work?
it's in the driveway. I was parking in the driveway.
Parked in the driveway? Okay, all right. Jeff, obviously you talked to your dad, and you know that your mom has passed away, right? What did he tell you happened?
He doesn't know what happened. He said he saw her. He said it was real quick. He saw her by the door, and that she was pale and there was blood. And he doesn't know what happened.
What do you think happened?
I really don't know. I have no idea. I don't think she would hurt herself. She's not.
Oh, this is my favorite part, when the suspect brings out his crackpot ideas.
Has she ever tried to hurt herself before?
Not that I ever know of. She's never.
You will notice that while Jeffrey was being questioned about things unrelated to the case, he showed very little emotion as he gave his answers. What's interesting is that even when he describes the fight with his mother, injuring his hands at work, or the phone call from his father, he maintains the same baseline of emotions.
Jeff, the lady's house that you're working at.
Not suspicious.
Not Spicer's, the other lady's house. Are you doing it? What type of painting are you doing over
I was priming her basement.
there? What color?
White.
White. Okay.
Yeah, I was
she's out of town right now.
painting it. I was priming
I'm
the
thinking
wall.
she is. I gave her a call actually today. Let her know I was still working for her and taking care of stuff around the house. That I thought she would be back by now.
Okay. You said that you went over. You said you transplanted some lilacs.
Yeah.
Did she ask you to do that?
Yes, it's on the list for me to do.
I mean, did she leave you a list of things to do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And she told you where she wanted these.
Oh, this voice pissed me off.
She put
I know
markers.
this man has a sore throat his entire life.
Did she ask you to come over there today?
Yeah.
Not today. She doesn't ask me to come over any specific day. She just gives me a list of things to do. She wants to come over whenever I can.
When you got up today, and did you take a shower?
I mean, it's either that or this is his natural
Shower.
voice and he's
Yes.
smoked too much,
Okay,
so
what-
his
which room did you
vocals,
shower?
his esophagus
I
is
always
messed
shower
up.
in the upstairs.
Either
bathroom.
way, his esophagus is fucked.
It's in the
but-
hallway.
Yeah.
There's one in my parents' bedroom. There's a bathroom there, and then there's one in the hallway. And I always shower in the hallway.
Yeah, another reason not to touch
And that was-
cigarettes,
and you showered
kids.
yesterday?
Besides,
Did
obviously,
anybody
cancer.
shower in that shower today
Your
that you know of? like
voice
your
gets
sister?
destroyed
No, she usually showers at night.
pretty
All the evidence
fast.
they have is now circumstantial, so what the detectives will need to do is establish a motive. In most homicide cases,
Looks like they
there's
did based off of
usually
this
a motive
mugshot.
that ties a suspect to their victim. A motive is not required for the jury to reach a verdict. However, it
True,
does
but-
strengthen the case against a suspect because it gives a reason for their crime.
Creating a motive is a much smarter way to proceed in a court, just because it's the most viable thing. I mean, all this circumstantial evidence isn't exactly good. It's usable, but it's an easy thing to poke holes in. Hence the name circumstantial. Motive is a big deal, just because it is an easy way to basically be like, this is a really blatant reason as to why you would do this, and so we think that's why you did this. It's not necessary for every case, but especially for like first degree, motive or evidence of like premeditation is essential.
When you had the domestic situation with your mom, where your mom came at you upstairs, was there any bitterness going on between you and the mom at all? As far as her going to jail?
What?
I mean, was she upset with you because?
Why are you yelling at me? I don't know what I did to this girl tonight. She is yelling at me.
She ended up in jail for the amount of time that she was there?
No, she's actually she gets upset. At
She
my
got
dad.
fed. I listened to Hannah
She
feed them.
Blames.
I don't really know what
problems on him.
what her damage is.
Yeah.
Does that cause problems between you and your mom?
Not really.
Over the
Yeah,
dynamics
totally
of how things
not.
are going on at the house?
What?
I don't have a problem with my mom.
What?
I had a problem with her. The only issue I had was I wanted her to take medicine, and nature of the illness, she didn't want to take it.
Right.
That's the only problem I've ever had with her.
Which is pretty common with bipolar people.
Right.
Sometimes they get to a point where all of a sudden they quit taking it.
Yeah, they feel good when they're not taking it.
Not true.
It's kind of like a drug high.
Right.
It's not true. You're an idiot.
It's hard to get them to stay on the stuff.
Is there anything that we haven't asked you? I mean, off the top of your head, that you think would be important to this investigation? Anything at all?
Yeah, I did it. That would
Did
be.
your mom have any enemies?
Not really.
No.
I mean, she didn't really have any friends, so that kind of eliminated her having enemies.
All right,
That
bro.
makes any
You already
sense.
killed her. You don't need a fucking character assassinator.
I mean,
Douche.
is there anybody that you can think of that's capable of harming your mother? Or anybody out there that you can think of that would want to harm your mother?
No idea. I just want him caught.
I can't. I mean, she's always been a really nice lady.
Can't think of anybody.
He does kind of realize that by saying like she doesn't have friends and hence wouldn't have enemies, he does realize that basically is narrowing the list, right? Because I don't think he really realized that by saying that, he's basically like, don't look at other people, look closer. So they're just going to look at him even more.
I don't know.
They probably already have an idea based off of this, but
Does she go anywhere other than home and shopping and that type of thing?
Shopping?
Does she hang out with anybody?
No, she used to have some friends that she would go get lunch with occasionally, but she hasn't done that for a long time. So back before 2008.
Before 2000? Okay.
Jeffrey claims that he has no idea how his mother died. The detective decides to tell him what happened because he wants to
14 years ago, by the way. Hate that.
see how he will react to the news. Watch how Jeffrey reacts to finding out his mother was murdered. He doesn't ask any questions about the homicide or show any emotions other than putting a hand over his face.
Jeff, see, you have no idea how your mom died or anything.
No.
Okay. Your mom was murdered. Someone killed your mom.
Oh, I'm responding so naturally. Oh no.
Okay, it's not an accident. We need to get to the bottom of it.
At least try to fake cry.
Okay. So if there's anything else that you know about
Bro can't even muster a
that you've
tear,
been holding back,
let alone muster an alibi.
you're afraid to tell us, now's the time. Okay.
I don't know what to tell you.
So we
I
got
don't know of anyone who would want to hurt her.
Can't even surmise a hairline
to
either.
ask you some pretty tough questions, okay?
Okay.
Did you have any altercation with your mom today?
No, not all.
Oh, the pressing has begun.
No type of
Also, fun fact about hair care: taking care of it when you have it prevents it from leaving. Just so you know. I mean, obviously, some stuff is out of your control, but not that we're on the topic anymore. But just to reiterate it, you know, doing stuff like using good product while you have hair. No shit, yeah, but like. You say that, but some people are sitting here using 3-in-1 shampoo because it's too much work to do more than that. So they just splotch like a whole ass glob on their head and they let it like pour down onto their entire body. And they're like, oh, I'm watching it. You gotta treat your hair right, folks. We're gonna end up like Jeffrey here with his fucking where a mohawk should be haircut.
of fight, no type of argument,
No,
anything?
I didn't we didn't even argue today.
Okay. And you say that you left at 1:30. Can anybody verify that you left at 1:30? How can we verify that?
You can't LOL, trust me.
I don't know. I can't.
Well, you said you called the lady. When did you call the lady?
I called her after I left when I was on my way to Spicer's.
After you left her house?
Yeah.
Did you leave her a message?
Mhm.
And on the message, what'd you tell her?
Better hope she
just
doesn't have
told her that
security.
I was still working for her, and then I thought she was coming back the 19th, is when she said she'd be back. And, you know, I hadn't seen her around there. I'd been there a few times since then. She hadn't been there. I was just wondering if she was back or not, and just letting her know that I was still taking care of stuff for her. So.
The detective notices several scratches on Jeffrey's arms.
Are those scratches on your forearm, Jim?
These, yeah.
That was also the apple
Scratched up a
cider.
lot from work. This was
Holy shit.
A goat got out of the pen, and we had to
A goat?
catch him. And
A goat?
yeah, we have
What?
a petting farm, and there's a new
What?
setup, and the one goat always gets out. So
She's
What's this on your
crying at me again.
paint,
This paint?
yeah,
What were you painting?
Sorry, there's an ad.
and the one goat always gets out. So
What's this on your pants?
paint.
God, it's crazy how he got all these injuries on the same day of his mom's
What were you
murder.
painting?
That was back from
Coincidence.
winter/spring.
Work is crazy today,
I don't wear
man.
shoes in the house.
Where do you keep all of your shoes at?
There's just a shoe rack. Well, I mean, there's one right by the door, and then there's one that's out a little bit.
Just a crazy work day, guys. Trust me.
There's a ladder. I have some of my work shoes there.
Okay. A wooden ladder?
Yeah.
Wooden?
Yeah.
Like a 2x4, you could say.
When you went over to the house on Malibu, what all did you do over there today?
I went over there, transplanted her lilacs, and
How many did you transplant down?
a 5. And I had a little bit of extra time. I was trying to clean up the basement before I had to go to work. So I swept down there a little bit right by the pull-out door.
God, you're so brave.
Did you contact the owner of that home today?
I called her after I left.
Okay. Do you normally do that?
No, I called her because I was kind of wondering why she hadn't been there, because that was about the 3rd time I've been there since I thought she was going to come home.
Okay.
And I just wanted to give her a call and let her know. I'm still working for you. I don't know where you're at. But
Well, I mean, if she didn't fire you, why would you feel the need to contact her to tell her that you're still working for her?
well, just because she hadn't come home yet.
Good question.
I was
But
kind
when
of
I'm-
confused. That was part of why I called her. Be like, I'm
A great question.
still here. Where are you at? Kind of. So,
I guess
Damn, bro.
my thing is, I mean, if
Master
you're
of
still
deception.
employed and she didn't fire you,
Yeah, you go ahead and put them on.
you know, and she didn't fire you, why would you feel the need to contact her?
I was wondering mainly if she was home or not. If she'd come back home from being out of town. And
Wouldn't you figure that out by her not being there and you working there anyway?
Still keeping up on the jobs that she had for me.
Jeffrey has been told that his mother was involved in a homicide, and the detectives are not hiding the fact that he is a suspect.
Not really.
Most people in this type of situation would express feelings of anger, sadness, and shock. They would be very adamant that the police have the wrong person.
Yeah.
So far, Jeffrey has remained calm and in control, but
Not
this is about
necessarily.
to change. Jeffrey is about to show sadness for the first time. However, it is very brief and appears forced.
No way.
Jeff, from the time that
My
you
bad.
injured,
You know, like it's I mean, it's not inaccurate to say that like most people would show shock, sadness, anger. I think the key word is most. I mean, that JCS video, there's a JCS video very specifically about specifically this kind of thing, where some people don't react the same that is naturally expected within an interrogation room. And I mean, he showed a perfect example in that video of just a very calm and calculated man who got picked up by the wrong cop and didn't do the crime that was committed, but his mannerisms and his behavior made it seem like unlike somebody who's being falsely accused, you know? Obviously this is the guy, but they haven't directly said he's a suspect. Their line of questioning would make it seem that way, and it would be easy to glean that. And also, had I been told by the police that they think my mom was murdered, I think I would have responded a bit stronger than going hand on face. Oh no, you know what I mean?
Your hands today.
Yep.
Out at Spicer's. Had you been home in between the time you injured your hands and the time that your dad contacted you?
No, I was at the lady's house, and then I went to work.
And you never.
And then my dad called me, and then I went home.
Okay, so you had never been back at the house.
Am I a cop? No, fuck no. I went to college and I have a degree in criminology and criminal justice, though. That's why I know a lot of behaviors like that. This is why we are here. That's why people watch this. Yeah.
No,
in between there?
It would go, I leave home, go to the lady's house, go to Spicer's, go back home.
Okay. Jeff, I'm going to ask you a tough question here today.
I wonder what it's going to be.
Did you do anything today at all to hurt your mom?
No. No.
In any way, shape, or form?
Nothing.
Did you have any arguments with your mom
No.
today?
I didn't say anything hurtful to her. I did nothing.
All right.
No idea who would.
I have no idea who would.
It's a mystery.
I can't even.
Because somebody did.
I'm having a hard enough time.
Oh yeah,
Jeff, somebody
you've been
singled
struggling
your
through this
mom out
interrogation, bud.
and committed a violent act today against your mom
Bird, go get mom
for a
then.
reason that we can't explain.
No. I'm not helping you.
That's why we're asking you the questions that we're
No.
asking you. I know. I mean, we have a lot of
Mom will help you. Don't yell at me.
and not a lot of answers. And
She's so mad. She's so. Whoa. Birdie, it's pouring rain outside right now. It's pouring.
and you know, nobody can tell us
The drama.
why somebody would do this to your mom and single your mom out of all people.
God. What a mystery. Why would somebody kill my mom, who I argue with a lot?
I mean, can you think of anything? Any something we haven't asked you? I mean, there's reasons for everything that happens.
Other than the goofy neighbors that you said, you know, with the eggs.
What?
Neighborhood disputes. Anybody unhappy about anything?
Neighbor with eggs? What did I miss?
Here's the thing.
Did they discuss that and I just zoned out?
About a dead tree.
Which next door neighbor?
Uh,
If you're standing facing the house,
this is my house. It would be this one.
directly to the left, if you're looking at the house?
Yes.
What's that guy's name?
The fanfares.
Fanfares?
The only dispute we'd really ever had with them was they had a big dead tree that kind of hung over our driveway, and my dad parked his car out in the driveway. We don't have room in the garage, and he offered to take it down, and they didn't want to take it down, and there was a dispute about that, but that was I want to say a few years ago.
Wow, what a kerfuffle, man.
Alrighty.
Okay, hang tight for a minute. Let me go check on your pants, okay?
Yep, I'll get you out of here.
The interrogation ends here, and Jeffrey.
Bro, his hairline got worse.
5 months later, Jeffrey would be arrested for the death of his mother. Jeffrey would take the case to trial, and prosecution would use several pieces of evidence against him. The first piece of evidence was Jeffrey's lack of emotion during the interrogation, and how he never once asked questions about his mother's death.
What
Jeffrey
happened?
claimed that he had transplanted 5 plants on the day of the crime, but the evidence would show that not to be true. Jeffrey's coworker would demonstrate for the police how the pallets were stacked at their job. He claimed that no matter what way he threw them, he could not inflict the same wounds on his hands. The final nail in Jeffrey's coffin would be the testimony from his ex-girlfriend. She claimed that Jeffrey would often become very emotional about his mother, and he attempted to move out on several occasions. She also claimed that Jeffrey had cheated on her, but because he was a very good liar, it took a while for her to find out. Jeffrey's lawyer would also state their case. They explained that there was no physical evidence tying Jeffrey to his mother. No DNA on the clothing or under the fingernails. No weapon had been found, and the crime scene had not been cleaned. As the trial played out, it appeared that the verdict could go either way. That's when prosecution made a game-changing motion. They asked the judge if there could be a second option. They wanted to add second-degree murder next to first-degree as a possible verdict. This meant if the jury wasn't convinced it was first-degree, but they also weren't convinced he was innocent, second-degree was a third option.
The second-degree murder charge, and counsel has objected.
We are entitled to that lesser-included offense I'm asking for.
Thank you.
We do not believe that the evidence supports first degree, let alone second degree. I'm concerned that the jury will compromise their verdict.
Interesting.
Based on emotion and the evidence in this case or lack thereof. So I would ask that second degree be left out.
If you find the defendant guilty of murder, you must state in your verdict whether it is murder in the first degree or murder in the second degree.
That's weird.
Jeffrey would be found guilty of second-degree murder and receive 20 to 60 years in prison.
That does not happen.
What this meant was that Jeffrey must serve a minimum of 20 years, but on the 20-year mark, he would have a chance of being paroled.
To 20 years to 60 years with the Michigan Department of Corrections. He gets credit for 476 days. He is ordered to pay the crime victim rights fee of $130. He is assessed state cost of $68. It is also ordered that the defendant shall comply with DNA testing as an additional condition of his sentence.
To this day, Jeffrey's father claims that his son is innocent.
It was a coward and a monster that did this to my wife, and that's not my son. He could never harm her.
Do you have any idea who might have done it?
I can't speak to that. You know what? You know whose job that was? The detectives. And you know what they did? Nothing. They looked at me and they looked at my son. They did nothing else. They took the easy way out. He would never harm his mother. He loved her. He never showed anything but compassion and love for his mother. And he's the best.
Jeffrey loved his mother so much.
Jeffrey loved his mother.
Is Jeffrey innocent or guilty? Was all the evidence circumstantial?
What do you think, Grandma?
Was Jeffrey tired of dealing with his mother's mental health
my grandson's a nice guy.
I would love to hear your thoughts on this case. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time here on the Red Tree Crime YouTube channel.
Well, it could really go either way. All he did was have a shitty alibi and injuries the same day of that were unexplainable, and his explanation wasn't good. So, I mean, it could have been anybody, truly. South Park grandma.
I think my son's really nice. I don't think my grandson could do that.
Anyway, thanks for being here for Crime Time.
It's impossible. My grandson, he comes over and he's super nice to me. Obviously, he's gonna be nice to his mother.